Unscripted.
You know, for as much as I was anticipating the PlayStation 5 and it being like a great console, I have to also say it maybe really kind of took me by surprise with some of the things that it could do, and the fact that it was able to sort of accomplish all the things that it was able to do, you know. And what I mean by that is, you know, I knew that it was going to be great and it would compare well to the Xbox Series X, right? Because I knew that at the end of the day, when you look at it and you look what developers were saying, they were saying flat out, hey, this console is the smallest difference we've seen between competing launching Xbox and PlayStation consoles. Smaller than the Xbox One versus PS4, smaller than the Xbox Series X and the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro, smaller than the Xbox and the PS2, smaller than Xbox 360 and PS3. So you knew things were going to be close. And you know, like, especially when it comes to like big developers and things like that, big developers really want, you know, their games to pretty much play and look pretty much alike across the board. But even with that being said, we thought that we would get, just based on the guts of the Xbox Series X, that it would be quote unquote that much better, right? We thought that it would be that much better, and to be honest with you, that hasn't happened. Yes, we've heard all the nonsense. We've heard all the stuff about tools. We keep hearing all this nonsense, and I'm not saying that the tools won't be there at some point, but I'm just saying that, again, and I've covered this multiple times, it's not as if the tools and the dev kits on the PlayStation side just cease to exist. So they're going to continue to get better. They're going to continue to sort of be there as well. And as fans, I think that we have to sort of look at this and go, oh, you know what? This is absolutely incredible. This is the stuff that we're talking about. This is the stuff that, you know, that fans want to see. And when we keep seeing that, you know, that gamers are you know, are absolutely loving the PlayStation 5, and the ones, like, for me personally, I bought into the fact that I believed that we would see games run slightly better on the Xbox Series X, slightly better, and that hasn't happened really in any way or in any tangible way to make the Xbox Series X worthwhile. In fact, I started getting even the multiplats on the PlayStation 5 as well now. You know, unfortunately, I got Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed on Xbox Series X, but in the future, it might not be that way. So it's very interesting to see how this turns out. But I want to get started because this is going to be a good video. What's up, everybody? Crapgamer here with Crapgamer Reviews, back with yet another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. I really do appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that as well. It helps out the channel, and it means a lot to me personally. And if you're looking for a way to help out a small little crappy channel like mine, the best way to do it, yes, that's right, a simple like goes a long way. Honestly, it does, and I really do appreciate each and every one of you. You are so amazing, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Happy Christmas, Happy New Year, Merry whatever you celebrate. I just really hope you have a great one. I know I did. I'm a little bit under the weather, but, you know, at the end of the day, I'm just thankful that I've had here to kind of celebrate and spend time with my family and game and kind of do those kind of things. So I really hope you guys have that same kind of stuff going on as me, and hopefully you can get a new console if you want it sooner rather than later. Now, shout out to all the old subscribers, new subscribers, and everybody in between. You are simply amazing, fantastic people, and I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Again, so we know that there's this very little difference. We know that, you know, technically, in terms of the power difference, it's super small. Now we know also that Destiny 2, for example, has been upgraded to the next generation version on the PS5, Xbox Series S, and the Xbox Series X, and it now runs at 60 frames per second with fast load times. Now this patch, it received it in November, followed by an upgrade for PS5 and Xbox Series X and X, and it leads to a dynamic 4K resolution on next-gen consoles that does indeed hit 60 FPS. The frame rate is double that of the last-gen console, so it's obviously a welcome thing. But according to VG Tech, the game renders at a dynamic 4K on Series X and PS5. but the Microsoft console does have minor dips and stuff like that. The PS5 and Xbox Series X use dynamic resolution, with the highest resolution found being native 4K, and the lowest resolution being close to 4K, but not exactly quite there just yet. So we're going to have to see how that kind of pans out and how that works out for everybody involved, but it is kind of funny to see so far. And it's not just about like the resolution and things like that, because clearly, any company can do like the resolution stuff, right? Hey, we have good resolution, we have bad resolution, what have you, but like at the end of the day, I feel like it's also critically important that we see how both Microsoft and Sony are able to achieve great content. Just as content is super important, it's like probably the most important thing for these consoles, right? Like when you think about it, like you have to have that compelling content, and that's probably why we see the PlayStation 5 do that much better so far. Will that continue? I guess we'll have to wait and see. So it's not only the content that you can create yourself, it's content that you buy, it's content that you get from third parties and things like that. And now we have this latest bit of rumor, which take with a grain of salt, but I will link this article so you can check it out. It looks like, at least to this, that it could potentially be that Final Fantasy 16 might actually release next year. And not only would that be something that would be released next year, but they're saying that it could be a full-time PlayStation exclusive, or at least a PlayStation exclusive for 1 to 2 years, much like Project Athia, which Project Athia, according to Square, is going to be their next big thing. So we do have that to sort of look at and kind of transition into as well. So that's going to be something to kind of keep an eye on as well, because like I said, you could have a year which Sony could even give Sony Santa Monica an extra year or some extra time to actually go out there and help out a little bit with the prettying up and the fixing up of God of War Ragnarok. You could buy them time, because if you're releasing Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Gran Turismo 7, Final Fantasy 16, Kenna Bridge of Spirits, if you're releasing Horizon Forbidden West, you might not need God of War Ragnarok next year. So I think that's something that a lot of people are going to have to kind of keep in mind, and just kind of keep that little bit of extra in the back of your head. Hey, you may not need to do that. So yeah, definitely something to sort of keep in mind as we kind of go ahead and look towards next year. I mean, believe it or not, we're at the end of the year, and we're seeing some pretty incredible things from developers, and there's a lot of promises. Like I said, it really does come down to also, are we going to get those things? Are we going to get these games? Are we going to get these games, or are they going to be delayed? Obviously we are still in a situation with a lot of us being locked down, and specific countries being locked down a lot more than than what you would even think to begin with. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what we actually get next year. I personally am very excited to see what we get. I would love to see us get all the games that they can, but again, we don't want to have to suffer through fiascos like we did with with the situation with like Cyberpunk 2077 and that kind of situation. That doesn't end well for anybody. That studio takes a hit. Pretty much everybody takes a hit in terms of what they're going to be able to do and what they're going to be able to get from this in the future. So again, hopefully that all works itself out and we get the best of the best, and they take their time with it, because I'd rather play a game that is complete than a game that is incomplete and full of bugs and kind of ruins stuff like that. We don't want to see that happen. We don't want that situation to sort of arise, because I don't think that really does anybody any good. And at the end of the day, we want these studios to sort of go out there and deliver the best that they can. And like I said, with the current situation, that might be a little bit harder to do than you might believe. So hopefully that can get kind of fixed up in the future. But again, we're also seeing games that are performing better on PlayStation 5. They're winning that battle, surprisingly. And even in my opinion, like I've said this multiple times, even if that's not the case, where they win that battle every time, even if it's a tie, right, it's still a win for them, because nobody thought that they would be even close in terms of being able to outperform the Xbox Series X, and here they are, pretty much matching it and doing much more than that in some instances. So yeah, very interesting to see that, and very interesting to see how Microsoft will be able to sort of look into fixing that in the future, if it's possible. So we'll have to see. But I would love your guys' thoughts and opinions on this. Please let me know. Like I said, I would just absolutely love to hear your guys' thoughts on that. Take a minute to consider subscribing. I would appreciate that. Take care of each other. Stay safe, happy, and healthy. Game on, my friends. Game on. Rack 'em up. Crapgamer out.
Unscripted.